Hey guys, welcome back to Home Theater Guru. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. This video was actually a video I've been needing to shoot for my room design clients. I have a tips and tricks document that goes out with my room plans. It kind of helps them take the plans and make it a reality, and also has just a bunch of tips and tricks. That's why it's called the tips and tricks document. It also has a bunch of links. Some are affiliate links, and the open box section at Audio Advice where we have 15% off, and some of them are links to videos that help them get their room set up, and this is going to be one such video. Of course, if I did your home theater plan, you know that I do not install mains flat. Like in walls are not flat to the wall. They must be towed in because we want the room to sound good. I mean, last year I did, I think about 120 plans. I did 0. I can count on no hands how many times we installed mains flat. And the reason is because if you take this speaker, say we've got two mains right here, a left and a right, and let's say you're sitting right here, a side seat. You are directly in line with the on axis of this speaker. But if you move over to another seat away from this speaker, now you're off axis of this speaker. And as you move off axis, you lose upper energy, but you become closer and become on axis when you get to a certain point of the other speaker. So what happens is the only speaker or the only seat in the room that has a really good stereo image is the one right there in the middle. As soon as you move even a foot left and right, you are immediately steered to that closer speaker. So you have a very, very small sweet spot. It's just they perform really poorly if you do not tow your speakers in. And with the cost of speakers, I mean, you could have $5,000 mains, per speaker, and they can easily get spanked by speakers that cost a fraction of their price just because the placement is better. You cannot overcome that. Now you do have room interaction, you have sidewall reflections that do help. They do not overcome the need for tow-in. Now with 2-channel, it is a little bit different because you play with your aiming or the angle of your speakers to tow in because you're manipulating how much energy is hitting the sidewalls, but you're looking for something a little bit different. You're looking for the sound stage changes, how large a sound stage is, the width of it. The sound of the room itself can change drastically, but you're only worried about one spot. With home theater, we need to worry about more than just a single spot. That's why, even if maybe you prefer it in your one single spot with the mains aimed straight, maybe you've tested it and you like that, you're gonna notice as soon as you move left and right, everything goes to crap. Now, a lot of times people do get confused about controlled dispersion and wide dispersion, or good off axis, and they think that it means it has wide dispersion, but that is absolutely not the case. Take a very good speaker like the JBL SCL6 in the synthesis line. That speaker has a waveguide that controls the dispersion. It has good off axis, which means that it resembles the on axis, but it's not a wide dispersion in any shape or form. I mean, it's kind of a narrow-ish type of dispersion. JBL's own specs say that it is down 6 dB at 40 degrees off axis up in the upper end. So as you're moving off axis of that speaker, it is continually dropping upper end output. So that's a speaker that greatly benefits from having tow in. If you're going to use those speakers, something like that, you need to have a way to tow them in. If you don't tow them in, you're going to suffer from the issues we're talking about in this video. JBL even has the SCL7, which is similar to the 6. It has a towed in waveguide, or the baffle is towed in 15 degrees. Here's a diagram from JBL kind of addressing that issue and showing the benefit of having an angled in-wall speaker. So be very careful out there of anyone trying to tell you that your mains do not need tow-in. This is going to be extremely rare that that's the case. So I'm going to show you the procedure. Now you can use these for your rears in Atmos, which we're also going to go over here in a minute after we discuss it. Now we're going to be using the pink noise in your processor or receiver for this. That's the sound you hear whenever you're setting your levels. So go ahead and aim one of your mains straight, play that pink noise to that main, okay? So go ahead and walk around to the back of the seats, get in the center of the listening area. That'll be a red dot on your plan. And you want to put your head there about head level where you would be when you're sitting down. And you're going to listen to the upper hiss of that noise. And you're going to move to the left and you're going to move to the right. And you're going to be moving on and off axis of the speaker that's aimed straight. And you're going to notice that the pink noise is going to be louder in the upper energy as you move on axis. And as you move off axis, you're going to be losing it. So what we want to do is we want to go to our speaker and we want to tow it in, okay? Now we are going to have some sidewall interaction. So we can't just tow it directly at the main listening position. That may not be the best sounding spot for it or the widest sweet spot. We may find that it's at like 20 degrees if we used triads in your room, which most likely we did if you were getting new speakers. They have a very wide dispersion, so you know, you may want to start at like 20, 25 degrees, go ahead and set your speaker there and then try this trick. Now you may not get to a spot where that upper energy sounds the same across the whole seating area. You may have 5 seats or 4 seats, and some seats may be close to a wall or something like that. So you're trying to get the sweet spot or that upper energy hiss as wide as possible. And once you get that, they're dialed in. It's a pretty simple procedure, but it works really good. It's really something that's really difficult to nail down unless you can do it in room. That's the best way. So sometimes my room designs, you know, you may have your mains can't be towed in. We set them at a specific angle. But my most popular wall method actually gives you the ability to tow in room, and you can't see the speakers, they're completely hidden. And it's usually a false bass trap type wall or a hybrid wall or something like that is what you have. Now for your rears, we may have used an angled rear, an end wall back there that's completely hidden. Now sometimes we'll have a thicker wall where we can actually use the end walls sitting like on a shelf, and we have enough room where we can tow those in. So you can use the same procedure for your rears. The rears aren't as important, you know, with the back of our ears, the way we're made, we don't pick up on that quite as well because they block some of the upper energy as well. But you can, you know, go ahead and tow them in, try that out. You know, there's no reason not to. And also your Atmos speakers. I highly recommend you do this to your Atmos speakers. If we did the 9-sat, then you can do cross aiming. This is actually a snippet from the Trinov white pages showing, you know, what cross aiming looks like. You're actually aiming at the opposite seat. And the reason this works so well is we don't have any sidewall interactions like we do with the mains, where they may be angled 20 degrees. So you have a lot of energy at the sidewall. With Atmos, you know, we hopefully have speakers that can hit 45, if not greater. So with the Atmos speakers, we're really aiming away from the sidewall, so we have less sidewall help. So aiming at the opposite seat, because it's the furthest seat, it gives us a little bit of level matching seat to seat. It makes the seats sound more even in loudness, and also just gives you a more dispersed, a wider sound stage. And a lot of people don't realize Atmos speakers do have a sound stage and they can image really, you know, like a pair of mains basically, you know, as a set. For one thing, most people's Atmos are not properly placed, or too far forward, too far out, or they lack the amount of angle needed to pull that off. A lot of times they can't even hit the main listening position, much less go, you know, past it. If we did the 9-sats, you can do this, or if we did like in-room sats, like bookshelves on mounts, you can also do that with these because you have the capability to get enough angle. So once you get all those dialed in, then you're ready to go ahead and move on to episode 51. I do like ARC and Anthem receivers and processors, so that'll help you if that's the route you went. Even if you didn't go with something like that, if you have Dirac or Odyssey, that video will still help you because it'll explain how to set up target curves and how to tune your system in your room, how to manipulate the subwoofer, how, you know, responses may differ from one room to another. It just kind of gives you an idea of what you're doing and why you would tweak certain things. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when the next videos come out. And if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments section below. And that's going to be it for this one. I'll see y'all for the next one.